No, I use, this is all acrylic, gouache, and crayon. Like a
You actually use a crayon? That's amazing.
Yes.
Let's talk about you. Like, how did you start doing painting? Like, what, tell us about the story of you as an artist. Like, and that's very impromptu, I understand, but you can.
Well, I started painting from a really young age. My mom's an art teacher, and my dad's extremely creative, and we just grew up in a creative house, and my mom stayed at home with us until my sister was 5, and that was how she entertained us, was art supplies and crafts, and she was so good at that, and now she's a preschool art teacher. Aww. So she, she was like in her element with us when we were little. And then when I was 5, I started entering in art contests, just, in our community, and continued to do that, and it was such a big part of my identity all the way through high school. And then senior year of high school, it was 2009, the middle of the recession. And great time. Great time to go to be an artist. My dad was like, what are you going to do with your art degree? So I went to University of Michigan, studied science, then went to physical therapy school, something else that I'm very passionate about, just a different part of my life. So art has always been a very strong part of who I am, though. I feel like I learned to enjoy science and physical therapy, and it was a new adventure for me, but art was just such a core part of my person. So when I graduated physical therapy school, I had so much more free time because I wasn't studying. I started dabbling in painting again, and I started sharing it online, and people started reaching out to me and asking for paintings, and I was getting good feedback, and I thought to myself, like, maybe I can, maybe I can do this. And I think my painting style has definitely evolved. Because I didn't go to art school, I didn't have that time to experiment. But I feel like in the past year, I've gotten much more comfortable with like who I am as a person, what I'm drawn to, what my style is. So I'm very inspired by Northern Michigan in general, which is also where I spent so much time growing up.
That's like you said, like your family has had these houses in Frankfurt and everything, and this just, I can resonate with that too, as somebody who grew up spending my summers, doing very similar things. Like, it gets in your soul, and so it makes sense that it inspires you, and it's very clear in like the colors and everything that you use, like the palette that you have, that those colors are a big part of what inspire you. And you can tell me if I'm wrong.
No, that's exactly right. And this was in my whole life growing up. I mean, my parents' house is very inspired by Michigan, Northern Michigan. They love interior design and decorating, and growing up we always were going to furniture stores and art galleries, and we traveled a lot and just got exposed to different cultures and art at a very young age. And they both really appreciate fine art. So I think just seeing that and learning about it, and seeing how designing a home can change your perspective, and I think it's so important to have a home that fosters that.
Yes, absolutely.
And like when Dave and I started living together, I was trying to teach him that because he was living, the simple bachelor lifestyle, and now I think he appreciates it. I mean, he even will say, like, when he comes home, that he loves coming home to our house because it's cozy and comfortable, and art is a piece of that, and just designing your home is a piece of that. So I think my artwork is definitely a combination of all of these experiences in life, and I design art with our home in mind and experiences in mind.
And this collection, I think, is really fun because for me it's amazing because I know all these moments so personally. Like, not only were they captured by people who I love and care about, but they were moments that are so intimate to much of our story over the past 10 years. And so to see some of these things come to life, and when they've been shared by, you know, family members, very close friends, and some people that I became friends with in the moment, it's so incredible to see them translated into a piece of art, because I know that moment in its realist sense, you know, in the actual moment. And then I know the photo version of it, and now to see it in art, and for them to all connect into this beautiful collection of paintings is incredible. Like, it's why I'm struggling to pick one for myself. You know, so it's awesome. But I think what I love personally about these two, and like, because, you know, giving you a bunch of our photos and just letting you choose, you know, I totally trusted you too, because I knew that you had a great eye for what would work together and the story it would all tell. But I love the most just the way that there's these tiny details in each photo that you would never really see unless you really experienced it yourself, like in person. And that's, I think, what really makes great art is it's something that isn't just meant to be, you know, picked up, put on your wall, but also like you fall into a little bit more with every look you have at it, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I love that about art. Just, yes. I love other artists too. Our home mostly has other people's art in it, and just like every time I look at it, I feel like I notice something different, or just imagining, you know, what their hand was doing, or
yes,
how they were making that mark. But with these photos, I mean, the coolest thing about painting your photos was that I think they capture so many people's experiences and feelings of Northern Michigan, but yes, rarely do you have a photo for inspiration of that.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I've had so many wonderful beach dinners, casual dinners at the beach with my family, or at a friend's house, but never has it been documented.
Yes.
The way that you guys have. And so it's, I mean, it's awesome, because everybody then gets a little piece of that. Like, you can take that home with you.
Yes.
And it transports you to your own experience.
And I think I think the reason I've always been so drawn to gatherings too is that when I think about the culture that exists here in Northern Michigan and much of the Great Lakes region, I think we all can say that like the core piece of it is getting together with people. It's the gathering element, whether it's, you know, in the summer and we're all, you know, getting our families together for that week or 2 weeks or every other weekend or something, or you are just going to the beach and having a bonfire with friends, or it's in the fall and you're celebrating at a farm the harvest season. And I mean, I know our calendar is just like every other weekend it's a harvest dinner, and it's amazing and wonderful. And then even in the winter with the simplest meal of just being soup and bread around the table with a couple of people, you know, I think it's such a core element of what it means to live in this area. And that to me is why I also wanted to put these into paintings, is because of that reason too, because it just really resonates with what the culture is. So yeah,
you're doing a good job.